Kempire is brought to you by.
Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much, first of all, for those that rated and reviewed the Kempire podcast in 2024. But if you haven't rated and reviewed us 5 stars already on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, do it today. We're trying to reach 1,000 reviews on Kempire's podcast, on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Be sure to tell us what you love about the podcast. Washington, D.C., the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to your city for another live show. If you haven't already, get your tickets today for our meet and greets, and general admission are still available. Then New York City, you're up next. We're coming back for Black History Month. So if you want to hear us talk about hot topics, housewives, and more, get your tickets for our Friday, February 21st live show at the Green Room 42. More information on Washington, D.C. and New York City will be available in the description. Sidebar, don't forget, New York City, you have a special live stream ticket available as well. Again, more information will be available in the description notes. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. What is going on, everyone? Happy New Year, and of course, happy Monday. This is our second live of the day. Let me know if you hear me loud and clearly. We're live on TikTok, we're live on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, here on YouTube for our weekly recap of Married to Medicine. I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate all the engagement. Shout out to those of you that have already liked the video. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And shout out to our King's Guards on multiple platforms holding us down for our Married to Medicine recap. How would you guys rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine from 1 to 10? I feel like this is another week that we have sort of a filler episode. Just because I didn't love this episode and I watched it twice, and I'm just like, maybe we stayed on this trip a little too long. Maybe we're focused on the wrong things for too long. We'll see. But if you did miss the fact that we did like 2 videos talking about Sweet Tea's live recap or just her recap and Dr. Heavenly's recap, we did do 2 separate videos talking about what we didn't see during this fight, which made me go to think, well, maybe they should have showed what happened between Sweet Tea and Quad during this situation. But I guess I understand why they didn't, because there was so much chaos happening in this one scene between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly. Maybe. I don't know. If I had to rate this week's episode, I see a lot of 6s, 5s. I see a 2. Uh-oh. Mia's back. Hey, Mia. I'm playing. If I had to rate the episode, I don't even think I would even give it a 5. It was just okay. It was just okay for me. All right, but it's okay. So we're continuing where we left off. It does feel like the longest fight in history because we had the holidays in between the last episode of Married to Medicine and this new episode that happened last night. So Dr. Jackie's talking to Dr. Heavenly in the golf cart, and she's getting emotional. Was anyone else kind of thrown off by why Dr. Jackie was getting emotional? I saw her have more emotion with Dr. Heavenly than she's had with her own husband. Just saying. She's like, and Heavenly is like, don't do this, Dr. Jackie. Don't do this, Jackie. I was like, okay, all right. That was weird. Quad, Simone, and Heavenly decided to not Heavenly. Who was there? Oh my God, who was there sitting there? Oh, Phaedra. I put Heavenly. Phaedra. It was Quad, Simone, and Phaedra decided to stay back and just eat because they didn't get to eat because they were too busy fighting. Dina says that Jackie was acting. It felt fake because she went from that emotion to like, let me get this cart going, and they couldn't get the cart going. All right. So Contessa says that she's tired of the group acting like Heavenly's behavior is normal. And look, I'm going to be twerking on the fence because you're never going to know what side I'm on in regards to this, because I see where Dr. Contessa is coming from, because I said this before, especially when we saw Dr. Simone talking to Sweet Tea about dealing with Heavenly. Dr. Simone, of all people, know what it's like dealing with Heavenly. Literally last season, you were screaming across the table at her. I just feel like now they're sort of playing into Dr. Heavenly's antics and not holding her accountable at all. And Contessa's been around the group long enough to know, like, why are you guys acting like some of her behavior is not a problem? Oh, Melissa says, It wasn't weird. She literally got knocked down. Well, she did, but she wasn't crying about that. She was crying about something else. I don't know what she was crying about. It wasn't getting knocked down. It's not like she was crying. She's like, oh, I hurt my arm. No, she's like crying over this group falling apart. I'm not sure if I really believe that, though. Anyways, Sweet Tea thinks, because in her conversation with Dr. Contessa and whoever, I think it was Toya, she was like, Dr. Jackie needs to say more. Here's the thing. If Dr. Jackie spoke up more about other people's behavior, and which some people might say that she does, I don't hold Dr. Jackie accountable for Dr. Heavenly's grown behavior. Like, Dr. Heavenly is grown. Do we really believe that if Dr. Jackie held Heavenly fully accountable, that Dr. Heavenly would change? Do we really believe that Dr. Heavenly would change if Dr. Jackie says, enough of this? I don't think that she would change. If we felt like Dr. Jackie was actually, pushing her to do stuff like that, I'm like, okay, then I could understand. But at the same time, I'm not going to be, holding it on Dr. Jackie to make Heavenly stop, because Heavenly is not going to stop. SL says that Dr. Jackie was overwhelmed from all the shenanigans. I would have cried too. Well, maybe she was having a moment. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. And then I thought it was interesting, Dr. Heavenly's response. She's like, don't do that, Jackie. She didn't want Dr. Jackie to start crying. Maybe Dr. Jackie knows that if she cries, Heavenly will stop with her antics. Maybe that's why Dr. Jackie started with the tears. Dr. Jackie's slick. Or she thinks she's slick. Because even with the faking of her arm injury, she thinks that she was going to manipulate the group to stop. So maybe her starting to cry, because you notice how no tears were shed. She started to cry, and all of a sudden she was starting up the car. Miss Brooklyn says that Jackie cannot make Heavenly change. She has no desire to change. She doesn't. This is why I said even when Heavenly apologizes, I'm like, I personally in real life would not take her apology seriously. But for the show, fine. But I would not take her apology seriously because we know she's going to do it again. Okay. All right. Quad then says that Heavenly uses your mama like an everyday response. But when Heavenly has nothing better to say, she's going to say your mama. But let me say something. I can understand that that's her go-to, but the way that she explained it, how she uses your mama, she said in her confessional, well, when I say your mama, it means your mama. To me, it's the she's incapable of certain mature emotional response, or maybe she lacks the articulation. And I know she's going to be hurt by that, but it's true, because if you can't come up with something else besides your mama, that says to me that you lack the articulation to say that, to say anything else. But okay, fine. So her go-to is always your mama. And of course, they play clips of the amount of times that she's always talking about your mama this, your mama that, your mama, your mama, your mama. Okay. Dina says, yo mama is just your mama. I get it too. But to me, it shows her emotional immaturity. It shows her lack of being able to articulate herself in other ways outside of your mama. Your mama is stuff that we said when we were in grade school, not when we are a full grown adult with children. Okay? That's the thing. How many grown adults are in an argument with other grown adults saying, your mama? You did that when you were a kid, not when you are a full-grown adult. Dina says, Dr. Heavenly's goal is to go to the lowest in an argument. But your mama, I don't feel like, I guess maybe in her head that is the lowest you can go. But for me, I get what she means, that she doesn't necessarily mean actually your mama, but just sort of like it's her comeback because she has nothing else. But okay. Look, Angelique says, I use your mama thing too. No, you don't. Stop. She says, I'm literally laughing my A off inside when I use that. It's the opposite of an insult in the Black community. And for the record, my mom is deceased. I had a whole book. Remember the book? There was a book back in the day. But mind you, I was probably in grade school when this book came out with your mama jokes. We get it within the Black community. Even Phaedra said that during the last episode. However, this woman, Dr. Contessa, lost her mom. I don't think that's the person you should probably say it to. Okay? And not everyone's going to take your mama lightly. And honestly, you saw how Dr. Contessa reacted. You don't know how other people are going to react. That might be a trigger for someone, and then all of a sudden, you're laid out on the floor with Dr. Jackie. Square up, ho. That's what she said. Okay. Semhar says, it doesn't really mean your mama. But here's the thing. Words mean things. If you say your mama, you are saying your mama. So that person's interpretation is English of, you're talking about my mother? I don't care if Dr. Heavenly doesn't necessarily mean your mama, but you mean as you lack whatever verbiage to come back at her, so you're going to say your mama. Your mama means your mother. I know you don't necessarily mean it like that, meaning like her literal mother, but that's your comeback. It still means your mother. Just saying. Nurse Jazz says, it's disrespectful to say your mama, especially if their mother is deceased. And then to really lean into it. When she says, you're talking about my mother that passed away in 2010? And she's like, yes. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and argue with what does your mama mean, okay? I get what Dr. Heavenly's trying to say. She doesn't have the words to elaborate and come back with anything more than, she doesn't have the emotional maturity to come back with anything else besides your mama, okay? Okay. Let me see. Jay says, saying square up is just as unintelligent. Who says that? Well, she wanted to meet Dr. Heavenly where she's at. You gonna call my mama square up, ho? That's what she said. Okay. All right. Exactly. Daisy Bella says, we aren't in elementary school anymore. Like, I have not seen a grown adult. I'm in New York, and there are people fighting all the time on the street. Okay. I haven't seen someone say ya mama in a very long time. Again, that's usually something people say at a much younger level. Okay. And for Dr. Heavenly to have so much mouth for everything and everyone, she definitely needs to work on coming back with something a little bit stronger than ya mama, especially after being on television for so long. Just saying. Angelique says, the whole cast laughed when Dr. Heavenly said your mama to others. Yeah, but the other people that she said it to, actually mothers were still around. Dr. Contessa lost her mother to cancer. And she talks more about it during the episode. So again, just because the others may have laughed at it doesn't mean everyone that you say your mama to is going to react the same way. That's why you got to be careful. Okay. All right. Mia's back. Love My Kid says, Kemp, I'm 57. My black is not cracked. Oh, damn. Come on. No potholes or clay for cover up. I was referencing Stacy from Detroit. The last comment was for Mia. Oh, okay. Oh, your comment from our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Okay. Damn, we were having a good time with thinking that you were Mia. Why you had to ruin it with clarity? But thank you for the super chat. Damn, you had to come for her skin. Damn, dragged Mia. Okay, all right. Moving on. I'm done talking about this. Quad. Let's talk about Quad. All right. Quad asked Dr. Jackie about her blank check apology. She's like, was it genuine? Was it, or were you just trying to pacify me? So Dr. Jackie says Dr. Jackie definitely was trying to pacify her. However, Dr. Jackie cleans it up and she was like, no, what I was saying is that, when the Napa stuff came up, just here's a blank check for everything that I've said and done to you. I'm sorry. Dr. Jackie was definitely pacifying Quad. So was Heavenly. She just wanted the backlash. She already had a very tough season last season. Remember last season, that's when she was getting all of the backlash for some things that she said in the past on Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel, okay? About Black women and going into the doctor, okay? So Dr. Jackie didn't want any more heat because you guys were dragging this cast for the way that they treated Quad, okay? So Dr. Jackie clears that up. Then it leads into another moment from Quad. I tell you this, look, this cast is not innocent. This cast allegedly came together to kick Quad out. Allegedly, they did the same for Mariah. I don't put anything past this cast, okay? However, Quad is not innocent. Quad's theatrics in this moment, the tears, the and then she's just like, and then she switches. Before it was about Napa. Remember in another scene that they showed, she was talking with Toya. It was about Napa. It wasn't about what Dr. Simone said in New York about her niece that passed away. It keeps switching. And I like the fact that Dr. Simone was like, if it was really about what happened in Napa, you wouldn't have let me back in. But you did let me back in. And I got back on the merry-go-round. And then all of a sudden, I'm kicked off the merry-go-round again. Even Phaedra, in her confession, she was like, I just don't know what is going to make Quad happy. I don't know what are mind you, Phaedra has really nothing to do with any of what went down in this group. So the fact that someone on the outside is saying the same thing, like, I don't know what is going to make Quad happy. If it's not one thing, it's another. But this performance at the table, I got so annoyed watching. I was like, Quad. OMG, the way she was just like, y'all just did me so dirty. I don't want this to happen again to me in this group. Y'all, I blame y'all. All of you fans that hyped Quad up and said they did you so wrong, dirty. Quad, she got it, no. This season alone, in the first how many episodes, we've gotten so many. What was it? The last episode? Yeah, I bled out. Y'all just left me for dead and bled out. Last season, she's coming up out of a coffin, hosted by Phaedra. Phaedra, you were part of the problem last season. Okay. Remember when she popped out? It's still funny to me. Remember when she popped out of the coffin? No, I didn't love that moment, but the fact, because how do you get out of a coffin? How do you get out of a coffin without it being funny? Like, do you slowly come up out of the coffin? Do you pop up out of the coffin? It's all going to be funny. Okay? So Quad last season, getting out of the coffin. Quad the last episode, y'all left me. I bled out. Okay. This week, and look, Quad has gone through some real stuff in the last year, and that I could understand. But every minute, she's switching it up. 1 minute, it was about Napa. The next minute, it's about what was said at the reunion. And Dr. Simone's like, I'm not apologizing for what I said, in Napa. But I will definitely apologize for what I said at the reunion. Because literally in this conversation, Dr. Simone explains to her, like, I get on the merry-go-round, and then I'm kicked off the merry-go-round. Okay. And then she was like, what did she say? I think I wrote it down. Well, Phaedra chimes in regards to she doesn't know what will satisfy Quad. Quad says that things fell apart between her and Dr. Simone in New York. Then Dr. Jackie leads the group in prayer. Look, I believe in the power of prayer. I'm very mindful of who prays over me. And I can appreciate them trying to bring everything back together in this moment. But I was like, and now they want to talk about bringing Quad back into the circle, like sister circle. And if you're a fan of Married to Medicine, you understand why that's hilarious. So they all come together and they pray around Quad. Dr. Jackie has some words of healing. Until they don't want you around anymore, Quad, they're going to do it again. They did it before. Exactly. Vanessa says, and the Emmy goes to Quad. Look. And the Emmy goes to Quad. Here you go, girl. Here you go. Here's your Emmy. There you go. I'll have this waiting for you. Okay, when I come back to Atlanta. Here goes your Emmy, girl. Because, really? So the group has welcomed Quad back in. And honestly, I feel like the only reason why the group has welcomed Quad back into this group is because the fans turned on the cast. The fans turned on the cast. Okay. Amit says they need Quad. Well, according to Dr. Heavenly, the show needs Heavenly and Quad. Just saying. I mean, Quad's crying. At least tears came out of Quad's eyes. I saw some tears. Okay. Tina said Viola Lunsford. OMG, that is so funny to me. Okay, not Viola Lunsford. Did you guys see the Golden Globes last night? Viola Davis looked amazing on the red carpet. Sheryl Lee Ralph as well. Anyways, that's another day for another conversation. So I did not fall for it. I if anything, I was just like, okay, I understand what the cast is doing. They felt the backlash. They changed their mind. I see what Quad is doing. Quad is working overtime to get back into the graces of everyone so that she can keep this check. Okay. Exactly. Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Chrissy says, yes, God, you said that, Kempire. Be careful who prayed over you, Miss Quadrina. Quadria. There we go. Quadrina. But anyways, this is the second prayer. This is the first of two prayers in this episode of Married to Medicine. Guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. I see we had a super chat from April. April, thank you for the super chat. April says, when Jackie was giving her sermon on the Mount and saw Phaedra's face, I cracked up. Square up, 304. Damn. You guys are terrible. Okay. Moving on. What else happened in this episode? I'm not going to be here long. But look, I'm not going to be here long, even though I'm already here almost 30 minutes. Okay. All right. So they pray for Quad. So Quad, in the next day, is telling King about what went down. And shout out to the editors, because I'm sure this conversation probably was a lot longer than the way they edited it down, because they're showing Quad tell King all about what went down the night before. And then they're showing the animals playing. They're showing all this stuff happening. They're seeing the days go by as Quad is telling this story. Okay. Which says to me that Quad was going on and on and on and on. And they wanted us to have that same experience that they did in editing this episode. Okay. Natasha said he sounded so bored. Well, I'm going to give him credit. I'm sure a lot of y'all be doing that to y'all husbands, and they probably sound the same. Like, okay, like, do I really care about what's happening between you and your friends, or what Kempire said on his YouTube channel? I'm sure they all sound like that too. Okay. Queen D says the details matter. Miss Mellon Magic says, don't leak out. Let's have a party. Nope. Look, nope. I got things to do. I got a story I need to do after this too. Stay tuned. Okay, it's a good one too. Anyways, moving on. So she's telling that story. The nurse comes to check in on Jackie. Fine. Contessa, Phaedra, and Sweet Tea go herding, which was interesting. Jackie admits that she isn't as hurt as she's pretending to be. Jackie also says that she also mentions that she's planning the second Med Gala. I actually think the Med Gala should be something. I'm assuming they do raise real money. I feel like they really should have an actual Med Gala. I think that's a really good idea. And also maybe this can foster more people getting into the medical field. I don't know if they just, I mean, I think they raise real money, but I wonder if I wonder if this is like an actual event that's not just filmed. You know what I mean? Okay. Moving on. Let me take a sip. Y'all are funny in the chat. Okay. So she's talking about planning of that. Contessa says that Heavenly knows that, she mentions to Phaedra that Heavenly knows that her mother died, and, you know, the whole health journey that she's gone through because of her mother's health stuff. So Heavenly also says, you know, this is something that Heavenly's go-to is always your mama, whatever. We talked about that. Okay. Heavenly also mentions in a separate conversation that she remembers being on the phone all the time with Dr. Contessa for hours, and Dr. Contessa would talk about her issues with Scott. Okay. Look, obviously they had very personal conversations. And if you remember when this was all playing out in real time, yes, Heavenly probably shouldn't have said some of the things that she said on her YouTube channel. However, we also were watching a very weird situation happen between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. And we also see In this episode, there's a weird energy between Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa. Did anyone else notice? I'm watching in the confessional when Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott are together. You know, we're body language experts. Not for real. And I'm seeing Dr. Contessa's constant hands like this. Did you guys notice that in that confessional while she's sitting with Dr. Scott? And I'm watching the hands constantly do this. And I'm just like, mind you, I watched this twice. And I'm like, this is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable to watch. And I'm like, there's something going on here with Dr. Contessa. Some of you noticed this from the beginning of the season when Dr. Contessa returned. But again, we remember when Dr. Contessa was still here, clearly she was showing us something that was happening in her relationship. And I think in 2025, where anyone that's witnessing abuse wants to say something because they don't want it to be later. Well, I noticed something, but I didn't want to say something. Okay. However, does that make it okay for Dr. Heavenly to talk about what she knows about Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa's relationship on her YouTube channel? It's one thing if we talk about it, but if this is a personal friend and she's sharing this to the public, I don't know. I don't know if that's okay. I wouldn't like it, but then again, I don't know if I would tell Dr. Heavenly anything, to be honest. Okay. Exactly. Destiny says self-soothing. What is she self-soothing from, though? It was something that stood out to me. Scherzer says that Dr. Contessa is trying to gaslight me. She's trying to gaslight the audience. This is why I have such a difficult time with the situation between Heavenly and Dr. Contessa, because I don't think Contessa is completely innocent, because we saw what we saw during her last season. And if you're just watching this season, you probably are like, oh no, Heavenly was completely wrong. But no, she also gaslit us. Kim, thanks so much for becoming a member. Shout out to all our members. We had a members-only live chat during our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Shout out to all of you. All right. Then we have these separate scenes with Dr. Damon's daddy and Eugene going to Eugene's house. And then we have Cecil, Dr. Scott, and Dr. Gregory going on ATVs. Okay. So this is where, first of all, I knew that Cecil was close with Quad and Dr. Gregory. I did not realize that Cecil and Dr. Gregory go play golf like every weekend. So they're close. All right. I don't know if Sweet Tea and Dr. Simone are close like that, but Gregory is in the circle. Okay. So they go ATV riding and they talk about Dr. Gregory and Damon's relationship and how this whole situation with Dr. Heavenly, it's affected their relationship. I have to say, I'm not team I'm not team daddy on this situation. There's something, I think he's making excuses for Heavenly's bad behavior. And I always have to remind you guys, and I'm glad that they showed the tweet, but they blur out the PDF file hashtag that Heavenly posted on her Twitter. She deleted it and apologized later for it. However, you already put it out there. And now, as you can see on this show, they're replaying that tweet over and over again. But still, the one that's not blurred, you put hashtag abuser in there as well. All of this is damaging to his livelihood and his career. And I know Dr. Heavenly has said, well, your wife was coming after my career. Okay. I always have to remind you what was said and what was done here. So the fact that Dr. Damon's daddy is not able to see Dr. Gregory's side of it and it's making excuses, I get it. You're going to, go for your wife, but you also need to be able to let your wife know that was too far. That was definitely too far. So I understand why Dr. Gregory has an issue with Damon. I don't understand Damon's issue with Dr. Gregory besides his wife's issue. I'm just saying. So they talk about this in these separate scenes. I thought it was interesting that Dr. Damon and Dr. Eugene have never really hung out one-on-one. They did say in the confessional, it's probably because they don't want the wives asking, what did this one say about me? And Toya says that, oh, I never ask you what the guys have said about me. And Eugene just makes a face. So clearly she does ask. So they talk about Dr. Damon's issues with Dr. Gregory. And Dr. Damon, Eugene says, I feel like Dr. Gregory feels like you've dismissed him. And Dr. Damon's like, did he say that? And he's like, no. He's like, this is just my assessment of what I'm seeing. And I have to say, I think that was a pretty good assessment because it does feel like Dr. Damon has just dismissed Dr. Gregory's, his thoughts, his feelings. But I also think that there's more going on the business side. I think Dr. Damon is probably more upset, not necessarily about what's happening between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Gregory. I think it's more so that they had a business relationship of referring clients, Dr. Damon referring clients to Dr. Gregory. And now Dr. Gregory's like, no. Do you blame him? Your wife just called me a pedophile and an abuser on social media, and you want to recommend clients to me? I'm good. I don't blame Dr. Gregory. I don't blame him for being like, yeah, no, I'm not. I don't want to work with you in that way, especially because you still don't check your wife when she's wrong. No, I don't blame him. She called a user on my TikTok. Said she called him a what? A PDF file. You have to read between the lines because we can't say those terms on these platforms. Maybe someone on TikTok can spell it out for the person. Okay. Q Potato on TikTok says, but Greg did beat up Quad. There's reports. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the PDF file that was mentioned in here, though. Okay. Those are, I mean, all of it. Again, they left the hashtag abuser in there, but there were other things that she posted in there. Rudd Girl says Dr. Damon is not some upstanding guy like people wants him to be. Let me see. Ye asked the question, why did she call him that? The abuser? Because there were allegations between Dr. Gregory and Quad in regards to physical abuse. Remember, at one particular point, they both went to jail. Remember? That was early. Like, was that season 1 or season 2 that happened? So, yeah, there were allegations. Blue Protege says Dr. Damon has said repeatedly that he checks his wife when they are not on camera. But here's the thing. You've checked your wife not on camera. However, she still does the same thing. And the thing is, when you have the conversation with Dr. Gregory, it doesn't seem like you're understanding where he's coming from. Yeah, Dina says Quad and Dr. G have mugshots. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Grace says, yep, they both have mugshots. Yeah, we're not going to revisit that situation. But yeah, that information's out there that happened early in the season. And apparently during the brawl that happened during this recent trip, that came up and Sweet Tea tried to deny that Dr. Gregory, this is what they're alleging, that she tried to deny that there was any abuse in Quad's relationship with Dr. Gregory. Okay. Brown Sugar says, but she's a menace, me and Dr. Heavenly. She's a menace on camera. Okay. Ashley says he checks her in private. They both have said. Here's the thing. It's one thing to check someone in private, but if the behavior continues, you checking her in private, which I don't believe, is not working because she's just gotten progressively worse. And I've enjoyed Dr. Heavenly here and there on the show, but her behavior has gotten worse. A lot. Okay. Ye says, why did Hellishly call Dr. G a pedophile? I have no idea what she's basing that off of. I don't know if she's just basing that off of the fact that Sweet Tea is a lot younger than he is, but she is still a grown woman. Isn't she in her 30s? So I don't know. And that's where Dr. Heavenly loses me. Because if that's what you're referencing, the fact that there is an age difference between Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea, she's grown. She's a grown woman. She's not underage. Again, damaging to his career now that you've put that out there. Now people like Ye are asking the questions like, what did he do? You're leaving the insinuation out there and now people can run with whatever they want to run with. Okay. Ashley says he's also not on social media. Here's the thing. These excuses for Dr. Damon Daddy are all well and good, but Dr. Damon Daddy can easily find this information. He is hearing from other people of what Hellishly is doing on social media. Okay? But here we are. Okay. Exactly. Letitia, 100%. Letitia says, if he checks her in private, then she would change. She hasn't changed. He doesn't check her. He allows her to wreak havoc. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, it's one thing to have that conversation in the past, then your behavior would have improved. I wouldn't say that she would change completely, but she hasn't changed at all. She's gotten worse. She's gotten worse. Tasha says hellishly. That is funny. That is funny. Nellie says that Dr. Heavenly needs to be removed. Letitia says, stop making excuses for that man. He knows what she does. Yeah, that's a whole, he's not on social media. He doesn't watch her YouTube channel. He hears from the other husbands and the other wives about Dr. Heavenly. Exactly. Mika says, I don't think he cares. No, that's a nice Bravo check. Okay. All right, let's move on. So the husbands have their own separate conversations about what's happening between Dr. Gregory and Dr. Damon. Honestly, I don't care. That's how bored I am with this whole conversation. I could care less. They could fight to the day, forever. I don't care. Okay. Ooh, Nora says he can't check her or she will turn on him and his business gonna come out. What do y'all think? I really don't think there's anything damaging out there in regards to Dr. Damon, because no matter what, I think it would have come out regardless. Good point. Danielle says that her daughter checks her husband doesn't. Yeah, we saw that recently on live. Okay, let's move on. So the group goes by the fire pit to talk about their issues or about the night before. Simone and Quad they seem to be in a better place. They're even flirting about kissing each other on the mouth. Fine. I hope that we're done with that, because if we are going to talk about Quad and Dr. Simone at all the rest of the season, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't believe that there was an issue there. I think Quad dragged out this issue because of social media, because of y'all. Not y'all, but you get what I'm talking about the fans. That's the only reason. Winter says that Married to Medicine just isn't doing it for me this season. It started off rough. I'm going to be honest with you. And I always said that Married to Medicine is one of those great shows on Bravo that people don't watch. However, this season, y'all not living up to it. And look, Phaedra's still a part of the season. And this is why I also said Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory being part of the cast isn't helping either. They're not bringing much of anything. The only thing that they're talking about is the issues with Quad. And that stuff is going to continue this season. And it's going to get physical between King and Dr. Gregory. I'm Team King on that one. Mind you, we didn't even see what happened. Dr. King could be completely wrong. Just saying. Okay. All right. So the group talks about some of their stuff. Contessa does apologize because she's one of the hosts of this trip and she didn't mean to bring it to that level the night before. Dr. Simone says she doesn't understand how things got so messed up. And so Contessa's just like, why does this group act as if they don't know what Heavenly does and what she's capable of? I feel the same way, especially with Dr. Simone, because she was saying something similar to Sweet Tea, trying to tell Sweet Tea, this is just how she is. You don't need to engage, blah, blah. Like, all these people have not been been at the end of a Heavenly tirade. Okay. So Simone seems to not understand how we got here, because, this season she's in a good place with Heavenly. All right. But Dr. Contessa is just like, I don't understand why this group continues to make excuses for Heavenly and her behavior. But Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa do agree that let's not force this to happen, because Phaedra was like, maybe when we get back, things will be good if you guys work on trying to make that work. And they're like, no, let's just let this happen organically. I can agree. I can agree with that. All right. Where do I want to go? Sweet Tea decides to chime in. And look, this is the one time I'm going to agree with the group. Sweet Tea I don't know why she decided to chime in. She's like, so she says to Dr. Heavenly, so you agree that you're going to be on pause? That you're not going to make comments and insults? You're going to hold your comments? And Dr. Heavenly's like, little girl. Little girl. Every time I hear Dr. Heavenly speak, I'm like, damn, that's got to be a strain of your vocal cords, right? She's like, here's the thing. I have to, like, everybody in the confession is like, oh my gosh, read the room, Sweet Tea. Dr. Jackie was like, shut up. I have to agree with them. Where did you get that based off what was just said, that this means that Dr. Heavenly is going to stop her insults. She said, I'm just asking if you agree that you're going to stop with the insults. No, sweetie. No, what they're saying is organically whatever conversations that need to be had will happen. We don't need to. I'm just making sure that the Oh, sweetie, I will miss you when you're gone. Oh, what? I don't look, she was necessary for last season, but this season I'm seeing more and more like I'm not interested. There's not even her reviews. I'm like, okay, unless you're going to give me like she gave us in regards to, oh, there was a fight between her and Quad that was edited out. Fine. But other than that, I'm like, oh, look, but does that mean you ain't going to talk about us? Okay. No. Anyways. So Phaedra decides to pray over them. I can't. I'm telling you, I would not allow Phaedra to pray over me. I'm just saying, just me personally. So Phaedra says a prayer, and Toya, look, pound Toya, look, pound. Toya says, yes, dear Lord, let's pray that everyone in this group, including yourself, Phaedra, will not stay at the surface. Okay. I'm so glad she said it in the confessional because, girl, you ain't gonna be praying over me. And still not giving anything during the season. All right, let's talk about this cringy scene. Hold on, y'all, I'm gonna take my gum out. This cringy scene between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. So Dr. Contessa, they have some construction going on. And they sit down to get an update on what went down. Apparently, Curtis called Dr. Scott to let him know your wife attacked my wife, okay? At one particular point, like, Dr. Jackie was in the air. No, Dr. Jackie never made it into the air. All she made it was the floor. She never went up. She just went down, okay? So that's when they start talking about what happened. And that's when Dr. Contessa said that, do you know that she talked about my mother who had cancer? And just Dr. Scott's reactions we're acting here. And I said, the fact that we have to act tells me there's a lot more stuff going on. Right? I was just like, wait a minute, what is... Watching that scene proved to me what all of you have been saying about this relationship, proved to me what we saw in that last season of Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. I was like, and him trying to say, when we get into an argument, I walk away, I go downstairs. Okay. It just felt like thou not protest too much. Natasha says, yeah, Scott didn't seem genuine. And Dr. Contessa seemed like a woman trying to change the narrative of what she looked like she was ready to tell us it all a couple of seasons ago. And Dr. Contessa said, Dr. Heavenly used to be his biggest advocate. She was his biggest fan. Okay. I just thought that interaction between the two of them, I was like, this is giving weird. It's giving, he said, that, the only thing I ever did close to abuse was when I dressed up as Ike. Look, some might say emotional abuse is a lot worse than physical abuse. And I think that's what Dr. Heavenly said on her YouTube channel. She said she doesn't think that it's physical abuse because they feel like Dr. Contessa can fight. That doesn't mean anything. But I definitely sense, and I don't know, if anything, Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott should be the pride and joy of Married to Medicine. Two doctors that have their own business, very successful, very smart. Like, they should be the prize of Married to Medicine. But unfortunately, there's something going on in that relationship. I don't know what it is. I don't want to speculate on what it is. Unfortunately, we have to speculate on some level because they are on a reality show and we saw something go on in this relationship. But watching her confessional, Dr. Contessa's confessional, watching this scene where it seems like they wanted to downplay any issues in their marriage, she said that he has an avoidant personality. Okay. I don't know. If anything, whatever's happening in Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott's relationship, I wish her the best. because I there's something happening and I don't know what it is, but I wish her the best. I definitely wish her the best. If that means leaving him, great. If that means going into therapy and working on that, great. But something's not right. Something's not right. Oh, yeah, Jocelyn says, Kempire, did you clock that when he said that he works 40% of the time? Well, no. What he said was that he goes into the office 40% of the time. Doesn't mean he's not working. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're a doctor, you have to be in the office, right? In order to be a doctor, unless he's taking care of administrative stuff. I don't know. But I did notice that he said that she's in the office 70% of the time and he goes into the office 40% of the time. I took it a little bit differently, but this is why perspective is interesting, that you guys picked up on it like, oh, he's not really working and she's working a lot. I took it as if, meaning that he can work from home majority of the time. I don't know. But again, he's a doctor, so I don't know how that works. Unless he's doing sort of like the telehealth stuff. I'm just saying, look, I'm giving you perspective, okay? Okay. Mr. Melon Magic says she seems scared of him. I remember she said that she didn't want the others to get his wrath. Yeah, I feel like there's more to Dr. Scott that we don't see. Jocelyn said he's rapping the other 60% of the time. Trey Remain, where you been? Happy New Year. Trey Remain says, I'm tired of seeing abusive couples on television. It's triggering to the audience and no one learns anything from the experience but how to use lies in their lives for a check. Yeah. Damn, dude says he's in the studio 60% of rapping 60% of the time. Y'all ain't right. If that's what he's doing with that 60% of his time, I need him to revisit because I don't want to see another song. I don't want to see another rap performance from him at all. Vanessa says, I know Dr. Scott looks mean. He is mean. I don't think he's as innocent as he pretends to be. And I'm telling you, that body language in the confessional where she was rubbing her hands constantly like this was quite telling. Oh, Shonda says, Scott is making, quote, house calls. He's not fooling me. Y'all ain't right. Dr. Scott is innocent. No. I mean, he might be innocent of that, but innocent? Okay. Nellie says, I did remember. Hold on, I got to make this bigger. There we go. Because I know we have few of you that complain about how small these are. Nellie says, I did remember when Dr. Scott had a double... Oh, Dr. Contessa, sorry. Dr. Contessa had a double mastectomy on the show, and knowing that her mother passed from breast cancer, yet Dr. Heavenly took advantage of it, it's sick. That's the other thing. It's one thing, we know that your mama, she says this all the time, but not everyone's going to react to your mama so lightly, especially if you lost your mother in this way. Philly John says that it's a side effect of Ozempic. I don't know if Dr. Contessa has admitted to taking Ozempic, but we do remember that she was on a fitness journey during her last season. So I don't know. I know she's definitely lost a lot of weight, but look, let's not speculate on what that could be because it could be a lot of other things. Okay. Cece says, Cece with a C. The fact that hellishly acts the way that she does with Damon, the same can be said about them. Right? That's a good point. All right. I'm wrapping this up. Goodbye, y'all. No, I'm playing. I want to drop the call-in link for our members first because I want to hear what you guys have to say before. Because this last scene with Dr. Jackie and Phaedra, they're planning the med ball. Phaedra doesn't... I would lose my mind if I had 70 unread texts. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, Philly John, it was a joke? Philly John, well, you said it real seriously. Okay. I didn't see you laughing out loud. Or did you? I don't remember. All right. Pretty Pink says that Dr. Heavenly needs a chin check. She almost got one from Dr. Contessa. All right. Let me drop the call-in link really quickly for our members first. And then live chat, I will drop the call-in link for you guys as well. Once we let's get to 400 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys as well. I won't be here long because, like I said, I have a story that I want to work on that is juicy. And I need to work on that before it gets too late. It's already 5 o'clock here in New York. All right. So let me drop the call-in link. I don't feel like this week's episode was that great. I definitely probably give it like a 5. It was just okay for me this week. And I feel like I've said that a couple times already this season, and I don't love that for Married to Medicine because it's such a good show. But they got to do something. And why do you think the season is going that way? Do you think it's because you have people like Phaedra that's not bringing anything at all? Do you think that this cast has had their moment and it's done? Do you think they need to get rid of people? Do you think that Dr. Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory are not bringing what they thought they were going to bring? Oh, Kay Avery says 70 unread texts is nothing. I have over 500. Girl, so people are waiting on your response, or are these like marketing text messages? Even those would annoy the hell out of me. All right. All right. So if you're a member of the channel, I dropped the call link for you guys on the community tab, a live chat. Once we get to 400 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. Don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. All right. Be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let me see. Oh, yeah. So in this last scene, Dr. Jackie meets with her event planner for the Met Gala. Phaedra comes through. Phaedra says, I throw parties all the time. They throw back to some of the parties that she's thrown. And Dr. Jackie says she's already $15,000 in the hole for this Met Gala. Okay. Phaedra says, so how much are you going to raise? She's like, we could do 100,000. So it'll be interesting because based off the preview for next week, it looks like they're having a hard time raising the money that they need. So I don't know if they're going to even make it to 100,000. How much do you think they should raise for an event like this? I mean, you definitely want to make back the money that you put out at the very least and still be able to make a healthy donation to the organization. And the organization they're raising money for has to do with maternity mortality. Okay. Callie Ways says that get rid of Dr. Hellish. Damn. I agree. Dina says a birthday party is different than a fundraiser. Yeah, because have we seen Phaedra do a fundraiser before? I guess we'll have to wait and see. If they don't even raise $50,000, I'm going to look at Phaedra with the side eye. Because the amount of money Phaedra should be making from all these businesses, she should be able to donate that money herself. Just saying. All right, we have a bunch of people backstage. We're going to drop the call-in link for our live chat in just a second. All right, let me close this off first. And if you missed it, guys, we were live yesterday for our recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville. You can also hear an audio version of that recap on the Kempire podcast as well. All right, how do I fix this thing? This thing is... There we go. All right. We've got V backstage that wants to share thoughts. Before we bring V up, let me just pull up my disclaimer. The thoughts and opinions of the callers do not represent the thoughts and opinions of the Kempire LLC, our sponsors, and anyone else. Okay? All right. Let me bring up V. Hold on. V, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. I won't be long before you. So, one, I really want to like Sweet Tea, but it's something that's off about her. I can't put my finger on it. And I even try to support her podcast, but it's like, girl, you're exhausted. She's not bringing any youth. She's bringing old-fashioned. Maybe that's the word for her. She's too old-fashioned. Like she was raised by her grandparents.
Yeah.
And then I go up for Dr. Heavenly, but she been wilding out lately. And I don't think they need to take her off the show, but she needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
Like course correction. As far as that. And then the rest of the ladies really ain't bringing anything. So I love Married to Medicine, but it is a little slow.
Right? I thought I was...
And I don't want it to be slow. I want to like it because it's a good show. But it's just been a little off lately. But I think they need to shake it up a little bit. Take Sweet Tea off of there. I'm sorry, Sweet Tea, but you got to go, honey.
Okay.
Take the test off of there.
Oh, okay. Who else?
Because her and Dr. Scott is delusional. And then... take Phaedra off of there too, honey. Well, she gone anyway, because, honey, giving faces ain't giving no shit. Not giving us reality TV. And you ain't never made no money. We just see you spending money. She got that from Kenya, though. You know that, right? When Kenya stood up and was like, I know how to raise money a while back on Road, that's what she got that from. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Based on the preview, it doesn't look like it's going to be good.
But we'll talk about it.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you so much for calling in, V.
All right. No problem. Talk to you later.
Bye. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. You're going to bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, where you been?
Celebrating my boys winning the Central Division yesterday.
Go Lions.
Yes, go Lions. Yes. We just got to wait for the next poop butt to come through Detroit in the playoffs.
Okay.
And we there.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep me up.
I'm kind of, because the Lions game was on yesterday, so I was flicking back and forth. I say to fake. Come on, y'all. She's not going to raise $100, let alone, come on now. Really?
Really?
It's going to be all the charade. Like, come on. Smoke and mirrors. Like, she couldn't be an Avon lady. Come on, look. Let's not go there.
What about
Heavenly?
Yeah.
Heavenly, she had to just get the line up of the women who want to beat her down. Because that mama, you coming wrong the right women, but you're going to come around the wrong woman at the wrong time, saying that mama stuff.
Yep.
And it's going to go down to their soul, and they're going to react, and you're not going to like it.
Yep.
Why you keep going for Miss Bad, but you the scariest one on the damn...
Calling for security.
Thank you. You call the popos. You from the streets. You from Miami. We don't call the popos. We don't call the popos. We handle it. And I beat you. We go on about our business, okay? You beat me, I go about my business. And that's it. We don't call no popos. I'm from Detroit. You from Miami. We don't call popos here. That shows me that you can't fight. You can't fight. And no, Contessa needs to stay, because with Contessa there, Heavenly is always on edge.
Oh.
And I like that. Because she know that if she push her button so far, she gonna come at her. And ain't nobody on that crew strong enough to hold Contessa back from getting to that butt.
What do you think would have happened though if they didn't stop her? You think Contessa would have beat her up?
Heck yeah. You see how Heavenly was running. She was doing the Ali, bobbing and weaving, bobbing and weaving. She wasn't, once she saw that Contessa had went off, she wasn't trying to get no closer to Contessa. And of all people to hold her back, the thinnest one there.
She fell. She didn't hold anything back.
Right, exactly. My point exactly. She did the horror movie run where you trip over your toe.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Go back and look at the whole horror movie where you almost getting away from the killer, chasing it, and you look down at your feet. Ooh, I fall down. Go boom.
Not boom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Bernice, go Lions. Thank you for calling in.
No problem, baby. Happy New Year to you and to the crew.
You too. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. You keep us posted on the Lions.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
And Miss Sharon's going to keep us posted on the, what's the team called? With Travis Kelce? The Chiefs. There we go. Shut up. I knew it. Shut up. The Chiefs. Okay. All right. Kari's backstage. Go Chiefs. What's going on, Kari?
Not go Chiefs, child. So I'm going to be serious for a second, even though I rarely am. Now, I volunteer at a domestic violence center. And one of the things that we were coached on, like when you start volunteering, is you have to understand that a victim isn't always going to hate their abuser. They're going to defend them. They're going to ride for them. Sometimes they're even going to go back to them. So if people really think that Contessa is a victim of domestic violence, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, y'all really shouldn't be harassing her because she's defending her abuser. Like, y'all aren't giving her the space or the confidence to want to come from that situation, especially within the group. Like, you're going on your YouTube channel and you're talking about it, but you're not giving her the space to feel comfortable, to feel like if she leaves him, she'll have a community. Right now, you guys are pushing her towards Scott. You're pushing her towards defending him, towards feeling like he's her safety blanket. And that's not what you're supposed to do to an abuse victim. I just find it to be incredibly distasteful for everyone to be like, oh, well, you say he was an abuser. Now you mad. Victims sometimes are contradictory. They are not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect victim. And if you genuinely feel like she's a victim, give her the space to be a victim.
And and look, I don't know their training. I don't know Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie or Dr. Heavenly's training, but aren't they supposed to look out for signs for stuff like that? Shouldn't they know how to? Because I know with my doctors, they're always, when I go for a physical, they're, how's everything at home? Are you living with someone now? Like, they're asking those questions. I just don't know if they do that.
Especially as OBGYNs, as a woman, and I'm sure other women know that when you, or like if you're pregnant and you go and you have your baby, they're asking you questions and you're like, why are you asking me this? It's because they're trying to make sure that you're safe. They're trying to make sure you're in a comfortable home. Like, doctors are mandated reporters. Yep. They have to report certain things to the police. So even though they're not trained as mental health professionals, they are trained to know certain signs and to know that they have to report these things. You don't go reporting to YouTube so you can make a couple bucks off your friend's pain. And not even just as doctors, as friends.
Yeah.
Jackie was so upset when people were talking about Curtis cheating on her. They took you to the resort where he cheated on you at, and you were upset because you felt like as a friend you had been violated. So why can't Contessa be upset that as a friend she's being violated and her pain is being monetized for someone else's gain? We can all say, yes, Tessa, you are a victim of abuse. I mean, not Contessa. We can all say, yes, Contessa, you are a victim of abuse, but who are we to monetize that? Who are we to be sitting on a live as her friend, someone saying, oh, you think Tessa, yeah, I think she's being abused and da-da this, da-da that, and da-da-da. And I just think it's incredibly distasteful. And the thing about Heavenly is she's a hypocrite, because you don't watch her lives, but I watched her last live, and she doesn't even think that Gregory is actually an abuser. She stopped herself. She was in the middle of saying, she was like, so if I'm with my man and I pick up a kitchen utensil that's sharp and I'm going after him with it and he decides to swing on me, that don't make, you know what? I ain't even going to get too much into it. I'm going to stop.
Oh, so her and Quad going to have issues this season.
That is, and I don't think that they're going to have issues because Quad needs Heavenly to film. It's not the first time that Heavenly has really invalidated Quad's experience. So for Quad to get upset at Sweet Tea, for everybody to be upset at Sweet Tea, why are you not upset at Heavenly? I know I'm going too long, but I want to say one more thing. I think Sweet Tea to them is a representation that they can be quote unquote replaced by their husbands. That if they get divorced, they were to leave their husbands, there would be other women that would be eager to get with them. And they don't like that because honestly, she has a grating personality for sure, but it's not something to where every time she opens her mouth, y'all feel the need to belittle her, to stomp on her, even though y'all are the ones that brought her into this circle. It's really something internal, in my opinion. And that is the last time that Kari is going to be serious. Y'all better be ready next time. Bye.
That was good, though, Kari. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
I think it's important. And look, I always say here, don't feel like you can't share your opinion, especially if you don't think it's the popular opinion. Just because you see people sharing things on in the live chat doesn't mean that a lot of people can't relate to what you might feel and think. That happens all the time when I come up here and I'm like, guys, I don't know if y'all agree with me, but this is how I feel. Leticia? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I apologize. Why would you come back on a show and be around people who trigger you? Why would Dr. Contessa monetize her own pain as well? Or maybe she felt like she needed to clean it up because remember they left on in a way that it kind of was just still out there that Dr. Scott maybe and her were in an abusive situation. I don't feel like this season's making it any better. Just saying. But okay. All right. Arjun is backstage. We're going to bring Arjun up next. I feel like I haven't seen Arjun's name in a minute. Arjun, what's going on? Arjun, you're muted. Arjun, can you hear me? All right, Arjun, we'll come back to you. Eli is backstage. We're going to bring Eli up next. Eli, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Eli?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to say that for me personally, I feel like with the whole situation with Contessa and Heavenly, the reason why I'm having a hard time understanding her is because if you feel this strongly, I'm not really understanding why she came back. And beyond that, she's coming back and she's like, I feel like she's relitigating the whole situation again. Because let's say, right, she never really got to get through it, which is understandable. But then that just shows me that this is more about the show than real life, because that means she never got through it because she never talked to Heavenly outside of the show. Now that she has to be around Heavenly, now it's a conversation again. And it is a little bit annoying. Then secondly, I think that Heavenly is wrong. I think she's immature. But everybody's saying to get Heavenly off the show. So I would like to know, what are we going to watch for entertainment-wise when she gets off? If they, like, this is my thing. When they say take somebody off the show, there needs to be a replacement, like a heavy hitter to replace what we're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that that's something to think about as well. But I don't think Heavenly's right for what she's doing. But at the same token, Contessa started talking about Heavenly's family before Heavenly even mentioned anything about her mom. And so I feel like Heavenly said, I don't know what else to say to this, so let me say your mama. Does it make it right? No. But for Contessa to act like she's right in what she did, I feel like she's taking partial responsibility. And yeah, that's my thing about that. And the show, to be honest, I'm a little bit worried, honestly. I'm a little bit worried for Potomac and Married to Medicine, because it makes me sad that these two great shows that are with people of color, with our African American women, are actually, starting to not be like, I don't know if they're not giving them enough time, enough focus, like the network. But it makes me sad to see that the show's kind of getting a little stale, because they've always been the best. I feel like Potomac, Married to Medicine, and Atlanta have always been the best.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And then the show, and Letitia, the last thing, I'm over. I'm over her, because like I was trying to get with her, huh?
Sweet Tea. Because people don't know that's her real name. Some people.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
No.
Sweet Tea, I'm over her, because like when I'm like, they're trying to get to resolve, and if she starts talking about to Heavenly, but you're gonna stop with insults, I'm like, come, are we really doing this right now? So yeah, I don't know, Sweet Tea, I'm gonna need her to like chill. And then Dr. Gregory, I don't know. I just can't. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think they could do better. I'm glad that Quad and Simone are, good. I also want to say this. I think that it's, I do have a lot of respect for Contessa, and I have respect for, victims of abuse. You know what I'm saying? My mom just recently got divorced. So I've seen what it is to live in a situation that's not pretty. But one thing is this, I feel like her coming back on the show is just, I don't really think it was that great of an idea. And then Scott's acting like his behavior was not shown on the whole show. It's kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, that's all.
All right, Eli, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. I mean, look, I do agree with Eli that I know a lot of people are asking for Dr. Heavenly not to be on the show anymore. I mean, I look, just because we say it or you see it a lot in a comment section doesn't mean that that's what the viewers overall are saying about Married to Medicine. But I do agree that if you're going to get rid of a Dr. Heavenly, then you've got to figure out this cast, because based off of it, say we did get rid of Dr. Heavenly and say we got rid of Quad, because, she said that her and Quad make the show. We're relying on Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie and who else is on this cast? Sweet Tea to do what? To carry the show? I said, bring back Audra. Bring back, Toya. Toya's been working overtime this season, though. I'm not saying that that's a reason to keep Heavenly, because like I've said, I do feel, as someone that has enjoyed Dr. Heavenly on the show over the years, I've seen her get progressively worse in some of the things that she does. And I think part of what happens in reality television and what happens to these reality TV personalities is that they are rewarded constantly for bad behavior, so they continue to keep testing the limits. I think that's exactly what we saw with Kenya Moore on this last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think we saw with Brandi Glanville. They keep testing the limits. They keep getting rewarded millions of dollars to act this way. So then they test the limits beyond a point, and then they're canceled, and then they no longer have a job. Okay. Exactly. Des says, yes, we bring back Audra. Audra might not want to come back, but I'm just, to me, I thought she was a great fit. But anyways, moving on. Let me get to these last couple of calls. Let me see if Arjan is still there. Arjan, are you still there? You're muted, Arjan. Arjan, are you there? I guess you're not, Arjan. Something happened. All right. Let's bring up Ashley next. Ashley, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Yeah, so I really just wanted to I'm so glad I caught you live so I could say this about Contessa. First, yes, Heavenly, she's definitely wrong. We know this. Heavenly's wrong a lot. But as far as Contessa, I just want to say, in her own words, it's so much mudslinging between her and Heavenly that has gone back and forth that I feel like what goes on between them is just off limits. So stop asking us about it and stop asking us to defend you. Remember when she said that to Mariah? That's how I feel about her now. Because Mariah had the same plight. Oh, Heavenly's talking about my mom, and none of you guys are standing up and saying, you know, hey, that's not right. We're not going to go to mom. So now, because it's your mom, you want everybody to jump up and defend you. No, just like you said about Mariah, stop asking us to defend you. Contessa, stop asking everybody to defend you. We're not going to do it. And then secondly, I think producers are really messing up the show.
Oh.
I think that they are overproducing. I hope that they listen to your channel, and I hope that they hear this, because they did the same thing with the Housewives of Atlanta, and now it's basically trash. And they're messing up these shows by overproducing and creating these situations that they should really let just happen authentically.
Do you think they should have kept in the fight between Quad and Sweet Tea?
Yes. Okay. Because I think that's important, because if you're not going to show basically the altercation or the story between them, then why did you really bring Sweet Tea on? Like, there's no point in her being here, because she is honestly so she's so cringy to watch. I tried to watch her YouTubes where she's reviewing the shows, and I just could not do it. It's like watching a car wreck. It was like, I don't want to watch it, but I can't turn away.
Wait, in all fairness, shout out to Jamie. Jamie edits it. I think that's that was a smart move from
Sweet
Tea.
Her hiring Jamie was smart.
To kind of bring it together and have someone ask her the questions. We did not want another Instagram live where it's all in the dark and she's... All you got is a flashlight, and all you see is you lied, and Carlos, and you told me that you believe what Mariah. So, like, we didn't need that. So she got one of the best to come in and pull it together.
And even with Jamie, it's still cringy. Because she's just awkward to watch. I don't know. It's the way that she presents herself, and it's like, that look good. And and telling, Jackie, I want to help the elderly, as they fall. Like, girl, you look like you and Jackie are about the same age. Y'all act the same age.
She gonna go on Instagram and get us both, okay?
She can come get me, baby, because one thing I can promise you, she could never with me. I honestly wish. No, seriously, because she don't know how to handle Heavenly, and Heavenly goes in on her about her age, her man, her this and her that. And baby, Heavenly, you cannot talk, because one thing about it, Damien he did check her. I'm not going to say he does all the time. He checked her one time when her and Contessa got into it over Simone's house. Remember when they were writing the book?
Yeah.
And he was like, could you be quiet, please? And she was like, I'm quiet. She said, no, I told you to be quiet. And you still talking. You already did it.
But do you think that was performative, though? Do you think, because remember, people have been saying this all the time, that Dr. Damon should check her. Do you think that was a performative moment?
No, I think he was really frustrated, and they just showed it, because he was trying to make a point. And they kept arguing. And so I think he just had enough. But I think if he would do that in the middle of those arguments a little bit more, then maybe Heavenly would calm down. But Damon is not going to do that, because regardless of how we look at her, he loves her dirty draws. And he is not going to disrespect. He is not going to disrespect her or put her in blast in front of people. So he's just, quiet. And now he's going along with it. And it's like, Damien, I know you a good man, but come on, man. I don't like how he's handling the situation. I don't think he's a bad guy, but the way he's handling the situation with Dr. G is not cool.
Yeah. All right, Ashley, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. OMG. Happy New Year, guys. For those that are just joining us, we're recapping the latest episode of Married to Medicine. But if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, stop relying on the Explorer page in 2025. I already noticed that YouTube is messing with their algorithm. I know not that it's been happening for the channel. I'm already seeing it on my own Explorer page. They're messing with the algorithm in 2025. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that you're still subscribed. That is a thing here on YouTube. And make sure that your notifications are on. Make sure that you're following us on all platforms like TikTok. Thank you, TikTok, for all the likes and the gifts. Make sure that you follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky. We're also there. Lemonade. All the places. Everything is The Kempire. All right. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter right now, and those of you watching on Facebook. Okay, we have a few more callers. Let me bring up Arjun again. Let's see if we can hear Arjun.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, where is Dr. Mimi? I think she was meant to be on this season.
Yes, I know Heavenly said on her YouTube channel, she doesn't understand why Dr. Mimi has not been featured yet. She's a psychiatrist. She's supposed to be like a friend of...
I was wondering where she at. Like...
She's coming, but Heavenly doesn't even know why she hasn't been featured. But it makes sense to me now because she didn't come on the cast trip, so it makes sense why she wouldn't be in the early parts of the season. Okay. She's supposed to still make an appearance at some point.
Also, can I just say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you saying like, "Oh, Dr. Heavenly needs to change." Have you not seen it with Giselle on Potomac? The way she's trying to be like nice and all that, it doesn't suit.
I don't think that Dr. Heavenly needs to change, but I definitely have noticed a drastic change for the worse in Dr. Heavenly. Like I don't think she needs to dramatically change, but she's become worse.
But that's how Dr. Heavenly, we always get that from her.
No, you don't think she's gotten worse?
No, I'm saying that. I think if we're going to ask her to change, I think she's just going to act like Giselle.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think that's a good idea. And also, what's up with this reality shows like they're attacking moms now, like with Giselle attacking her daughters, and then Contessa saying that about Dr. Heavenly, buying her kids. Like I don't think that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can I just say something about Potomac, if that's fine?
Sure.
I hope Giselle brings her to the reunion, like Nene brought her up when they said something about her son.
Oh. Do you think that they're going to bring up the rumor about the whore thing?
I hope they do, and I hope Giselle brings it because I need the energy.
I'm not holding out hope for Giselle to bring anything at a reunion.
You don't think so? Do you think she's going to play safe?
She always does. But I would be pleasantly surprised because we have to also remember, I was just talking about this during the RHOP recap, that in season 5, I don't feel like Monique ever really brought it in the early seasons that she was there. But at that reunion, she showed up and showed out. So maybe
I've been watching Potomac from since last week. I've been watching every day. It was so good in the early season. This is why I love Ashley, because she's been the main storyline for so many seasons. And she was. You know what? Her and Michael, was like Michael, right? That was her ex, right? Michael. They brought it to the season. Like he was arguing with Karen and everyone.
Yeah,
he did.
And then he disappeared.
I didn't even know she was the main storyline for so many seasons.
Oh no, she really was. I mean, her and Michael, that situation was a mess.
I only know about Potomac because of Nicki Minaj when she hosted the reunion.
Really?
Yeah, I just watched it because of Nicki Minaj.
Damn, look at Nicki Minaj. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Arjun, anything else about Married to Medicine, though?
No, I just love Heavenly and Cold. I wish they stay.
Okay. Okay. I mean, apparently you and a bunch of other people.
I just think they need to come together. That's it.
They did. They came together this episode and they prayed twice.
Yeah, but it's not going to work out.
You already know it's not going to work out because that's the problem with Dr. Heavenly. She'll be like, I apologize. And then all of a sudden,
but we know she doesn't mean it. So why are you asking her then? That's the thing. Why did they ask her?
Really? Okay, fine. All right, Arjun.
Like, the thing is, they keep asking her, but we know she's not going to do anything about it. She's not going to change.
So we're the insane ones, expecting a different result.
Thank you for explaining what Heavenly said, because I'm from the UK and we don't know what that means, what she said.
Oh.
Because we don't say that here.
You're from the UK, but you're in Portugal, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I've never heard anyone say that thing that Heavenly said.
Oh.
So, that wasn't... So, thank you for that. Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome. All right, Arjun.
See ya.
Take care. He says Heavenly needs to stay. Okay. Heavenly needs to stay. Stacy, well, not Stacy. Love my kids. a.k.a. Mia playing. Thank you for the super chat. They say, Love My Kid says, he's an ER doctor, calm and patient, and his job. He can't let her mess up all his hard work. He's no longer an ER doctor, Dr. Damon Daddy. He was the head of the ER for a very long time. He now has his own practice. But I could, honestly, if Dr. Damon was ever my doctor in the ER, I can understand why he was so good at his job, because I think he's fantastic at his work, and I can see how that calming energy would be amazing in the ER as a leader, as someone that's receiving services from him. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. All right, let me go. Let me get to these rest of these callers. All right, we have Tyler backstage. Tyler, long time no speak.
Let me say this briefly. I think the problem with Married to Medicine for me is, which I am glad that production does a lot to protect them because they are professionals. So I think what the problem is, there's a lot that we don't see that would make sense, i.e. it does seem that Letitia talks a lot of you know what, behind the scenes, and then kind of cries and plays victim, and they're editing it a certain way. Because if you listen to everybody when they talk about stuff, it's like she be saying a whole bunch of stuff and then it never shows on the show. And Dr. Jackie is very shady behind scenes, and it seems like Heavenly is trying to get her to be herself, but Jackie leaves Heavenly in the field by herself, which is a sign that I honestly think that Dr. Jackie connected with Heavenly, in my opinion. I think they eventually formulated a real friendship, but I think she connected with Heavenly because it brings, it's like, you're going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to just sit beside you. It gives me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't have to get activated because you're saying what I need
That's
to
like
say.
our pit bull.
Yeah, and it's so apparent.
Did you just call Heavenly a pit bull? No, I'm playing.
Yes. But I just think what's going on with Married to Medicine right now is so much that has gone on behind the scenes that they're trying to protect them, because at the end of the day, they are professionals. And last but not least, Dr. Damon, and you tell me if you think the same thing, he kind of reminds me of Greg Leaks, where he tries his hardest to kind of stay out of it. Like, Greg, no matter who Nene was arguing with, he's going to try to be polite to the women and, whatever like that. He never really corrected Nene publicly.
Yeah.
But,
You think he did in private?
But I think that's kind of how Dr. Damon is. Like, he just doesn't want to do that publicly, and he doesn't want to cause a scene. But Heavenly, on the other hand, her versus Nene, there was still a point of a little bit of respect with Nene where she was kind of like, okay, well, let me step back. Greg doesn't want this. Heavenly is ruthless. I don't know.
I definitely think that Nene respected Greg more in regards to that.
I think... You get what I'm saying? Oh, you don't think Nene respected Greg more?
No, I think she did.
Yeah, Heavenly, it seems to be like she's too amped up for TV. I do think that is her real personality. However, stop being other people's voice. That's where the problem comes in at. She's trying to get everybody else activated by saying the things that they said, but it's making you look bad, Heavenly. And that's the problem. But that's all.
Thank you for calling in, Tyler. Take care. All right. Tyler always comes in with something like, I never thought about that. Shonda says, would you use Dr. G, Kempire, for psychiatry? Well, I'm in New York. He's in Atlanta. So no. I'll leave it at that. Lady T says, Kempire, you got me in tears. I was mad about the your mama stuff, but you got me laughing. Well, I'm glad. We could make light of that serious situation. No, play it. It's not that serious. All right, let's get to a couple more callers, guys, and then we're going to get out of here. Vanessa, what's going on? What did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
You're over here killing me softly with your impression of Miss Sweet Tea. It's hysterical.
And I didn't really give you what I could really give you. I was just holding back.
She sounds like a rapper, a 90s female rapper, like a Queen Latifah
or MC Lyte.
Or Lady of Rage. I rock rough and tough with my Afro puffs. Anyway, I brought her up because she really can go. I like Sweet Tea, but she's just not a good fit. But she is very honest. And I think I'm going to make a point about Dr. Damon, a.k.a. Lil Tubby. everybody defends him, right? Because he's quiet. He is not a Greg Leaks, okay? I think that man is sneaky. And I think Sweet Tea said it. She said that Dr. Heavenly told her that she had to hit the man over the head with a frying pan, okay? I think Dr. Damon is out there doing his thing. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. So I believe he's out in them streets, but he's quiet with it. Heavenly knows it, and she has him on a leash. That's why he won't go off on her, because he knows that she knows he's out there cheating, and she's letting him cheat peacefully. That's why Heavenly's such a mean person, because she's not happy. That's what I think. Okay.
I mean, Vanessa, you bring up a valid point, because one of my big things, and I used to say this when I used to work in corporate America, when I would see managers treat or just be hateful in the office, I say, there's no way you could be happy at home acting this way out in the streets.
There you go. She's not happy. A woman, I'm not even going to pick on a woman. She's hurting people, hurt people. Okay. She's not happy in her marriage. I know she's not. And again, I'm not ignoring what Sweet Tea said. I believe her. Mm-hmm. Okay. So should Dr. Heavenly leave the show? I don't think so. I think they need to add more cast that might drown her personality out. But I don't think they should. I have no idea. I wish they could bring somebody that might challenge her a little more, but I don't think she should go like the other caller said. I think it would be kind of boring. But I think if they add the right personalities, it may affect her personality. If that makes
she needs sense. More grounding. She needs someone that'll be more grounding. And Dr. Jackie clearly isn't doing it.
No, Dr. Jackie is kind of, she's a little phony. But we need her, and we need Simone, because, all the doctors, I give them their props for what they do. I'm not taking it. Even little Dr. Tubby. I think they're all great. But, they're definitely, they need some new personalities in there. And I do think Sweet Tea can go. I think she's out of her league. I like Sweet Tea.
Look, I blame them bringing Phaedra on. I think Phaedra came on and stank up the place. And now... And not even in a good way. She didn't bring anything. They just kind of brought someone into the friend group, and now it just feels off balance. They got to figure that out.
Yeah, it's a mess. I just think if they do some recasting, maybe some new people, get rid of the Phaedra, which I know she's leaving. Sweet Tea, really, I think they thought it would bring drama with Quad, but it's just, no. She's too young. They don't respect her.
I know
she's very honest.
I know so many people say, bring back Mariah, bring back Mariah. Now I'm thinking about it. They need to bring Mariah's still married to her doctor husband.
Yep. I think adding Mariah would be excellent,
and it's not impossible. I know she had a lawsuit and they had a settlement.
Right.
If you can bring back Nene Leakes, you can bring back Mariah.
Sure can. I think that would be a great fit. I really do. I think she would shake it up. So they need that.
And she's got a vendetta. You guys pushed me out. She's going to have issues with everyone.
She got the receipts.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Mariah actually has another friend. Look, Mariah will come on in and recast, and they're not even knowing she's recasting. Come on in, bring her other friend doctors, wives.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Kempire.
Mariah!
Come on. That's what they need. And I do think they need a Mariah, because Mariah knows the old tea. Somebody new, maybe not. But yeah, I think that's an excellent idea.
Glitter Girl says, purveyors of pop, the producers of the show, ain't having Mariah back. But look, at the end of the day, they're a production company. If the network says, bring Mariah back, they're going to have to do it.
That part. And I'm sorry, is this yet a business? Yeah.
What's going to bring in the money?
That part. So yeah, they may want to consider that, because it's not really, Contessa. I don't think she should be on there. I like Contessa personally. She was wrong, I think. And obviously Heavenly was wrong. I think they both were wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Contessa would have beat the brakes off of Heavenly. So that's just what that's how I feel about it. But that Damon thing, I'm like, you guys, I think you guys are missing it. He is not a Greg Leaks. He's a sneaky. I think he's sneaky.
Oh my God.
On Heavenly, because Heavenly will drive somebody crazy. I'm not even blaming the man, but I think that's why he doesn't check her, because He's not scared of her. He's just like, she knows she lets me cheat respectfully. And so I'm not going to say anything.
Respectful cheating, not the crossover from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Kempire.
Thank you, Vanessa.
I love you.
Thank you. Speaking of Love and Marriage Huntsville, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Look, I've never been on the train of bring Mariah back, bring Mariah back. However, as Vanessa was talking, I was like, well, it's not impossible. And Mariah, she's not intertwined with this group anymore like that, but she knows them and she has personal business with them in regards to why she left the show. Yes, there were some things behind the scenes as well, but look, Mariah, here's your plan. You come back, all right? I know you probably don't want to come back, but you come back, you bring your other set of doctor friends. Are you still friends with Carrie and her husband? I didn't mind Carrie on the show. I liked Carrie on the show. I liked when she came back, too, without Lisa Nicole. You bring back, look, Mariah, pull it closer. Hold on, Mariah. I'm going to pull you a little bit closer, Mariah. Hold on. Pull you a little bit closer. Mariah, listen to me. So, the fans want you back. This would be huge, all right? She is still an executive producer on paper for Married to Medicine for Amit's question. So, they clearly want you back. The fans want you back. They're going to need it after this season. I don't care about the fight between King and Dr. Gregory. Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea aren't coming back. I know she got closer to the money. Look, let me take this out. So they're going to bring you back, all right? You're going to bring a bunch of your friends along with you, okay? So you're going to get right now, start producing. You the same way you did it the first season, all right? So you bring back. You bring with you a couple of your doctor friends' wives. You're going to be recasting the show without even telling them. Don't tell them I told you. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. I just threw my headphones out. It's okay. Look, how many times y'all keep saying bring Nene back? So many of you keep saying bring Mariah back. If Nene can come back on some level to the network, they can bring Mariah back. I think it's time. After this season alone, I'm feeling like they might need to do some shifting. They need to do some shifting. Okay, pushing forward with T says, based on Dr. Gregory's reviews, nobody should be going to him, allegedly. Well, not allegedly. I mean, the reviews are the reviews, but... All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for the super chats, the VENMOs, the cash apps, all of the support. Thank you so much for the likes. If you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and all the other places. We appreciate it. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Did you enjoy it? How would you rate it from 1 to 10? Did it really? Kay Avery says, okay, Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Lipton, Sweet Tea. Okay. I want to make me a video. When I do my Married to Medicine recap, I'm going to turn out all the lights and I'm just going to have a little flashlight right here. And then I'm going to give y'all review. Okay. Anyways, I appreciate you all being here. Don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. 5 stars, nothing less. All right. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to Washington, D.C. and New York City. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching the replay. Replay crew, be sure to let us know what you thought of the Married to Medicine latest episode. All right. Anne-Marie says, Kempire had me coming out of the bushes with that. Sorry. All right. Who's coming to the Kempire After Dark live experience in Washington, D.C. and New York? Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.